Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is April 16th, 2026. One of the top stories this morning is that former Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, a Duke alumni, also went to Columbia like Obama. The story is he's killed his family on this day and then killed himself at the age of 47. A reminder that Obama once took the presidency at this same age. And of course, yesterday I was on Quite Frankly explaining what's special about this 47 number. You might recall, if you've been here, in 2019, we used the Justin Fairfax RAPE story to accurately forecast why Virginia would win the March Madness tournament. And since YouTube's reinstated all of our channels, you can actually go back and watch this. This channel shrunk by over 30,000 subs in the time it hasn't been used. Again, YouTube brought this channel back in recent months, but 7 years ago, Justin Fairfax accused of RAPE. It's funny, whatever they did to all these channels, they nerfed all the views. All these videos had way better views back when they were there. It just makes me wonder what YouTube's done. It's like, I don't know if they were blowing up our views before and they weren't real or what. But anyway, yeah, we used the Justin Fairfax story to accurately forecast why Virginia would win the March Madness tournament, which they did. Hold on, sweet girl. Hold on, sweetie pie. I'm going to show you how his death, well, to make a long story short, Duke blew a 19-point lead where he went to school. He's dead 19 days later. And again, we used this guy for March Madness. Here, let me just scroll down to this. This was the 87th tournament this year. His full name, Justin Edward Fairfax, 87. From the March 29th, 19-point lead blowing. Today, 19 days later. So if you think that's a coincidence, I got news for you. It's because you're dumb, son. You're dumb. But look at this, you guys. Just in other familiar patterns. Today is the 106th day of the year. Let me try to do an adjustment here with the little one. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see. Okay. I think the audio's still coming through. 106th day of the year, you guys. So many rituals in history with this number, and having to do with the shaming and the death of black folks as well. Again, Justin Fairfax and his family, obviously a little darker complected. But yeah, 106th day of the year, right? In Gematria, there's 4 base ciphers. You want to go find Mama? You want to go find Mama? Where's Mama at? Where's Mama? Okay. Try this again. Again, 4 base ciphers in the English language, the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order in both orders with numerology applied. 106 is one of these highly ritualistic numbers when it comes to, black people in the news. And as you can see, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, black equals 106. When you run it in reverse with numerology, Black Lives Matter 106. The motto from the Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe 106. Again, last night on Quite Frankly, Ann was with us. Ann was with us out in New York, and when we went to the Yale campus. Ann was right there when we saw the Prince Hall Lodge at the Yale campus, which is at Building 106. And we said, look at that, just another 106 right here at Yale, where so much of this stuff seems to come from. And again, 106th day of the year, what do we all wake up to? That this former prominent politician right outside the nation's capital has killed his family and himself. And it's a lie. It's just such an obvious lie. These people are getting murdered for ritual. And by the way, you guys, I don't care if I never go back on Quite Frankly again, because I'm just going to be honest. I already knew I didn't like the guy. I called into a show a year ago, and he acted like a little bitch. And there's no other way to put it. I gave him a great piece of information, and he got all butthurt and was like, oh, it sounds like you're trying to steal the spotlight from my show. And it's just like, dude, I'm sharing with you. You open the line for a call in. I'm sharing some information about the story you're talking about today. And somebody told me he's brothers with Flow State. I didn't know that, but Flow State's an online troll. These people represent what's wrong with the world. They have these little puny brains and these closed minds, and they just can't grasp the obvious. How can you rig a sports game? This is room temperature IQ shit, and it's the reason this stuff goes on every day. Sports, ritual murder, news all sync together on a daily basis, and we're calling this stuff out before it happens year after year after year. Period. Okay. So, by the way, the first black mayor of New York City, the 106th, not an accident. I see there's even I'm going to go back to this old post, guys. I see there's something about 47 in here. Dinkins, who also served in the Marines in Korea, ran for mayor in 1989 and defeated Mayor Edward I. Cope. And he went on to defeat Rudy Giuliani by the narrowest electoral margin in New York City history, 47,000 votes. 47. Again, just a recurring government number. And Justin Fairfax is dead with his family at age 47. If we'll go back and look at the work from 2019, because 59 was the big code. Justin Fairfax got accused of RAPE 59 days before Virginia won the championship. And as I was explaining in 2019, I was like, how many more times do I need to show this 59 ritual shaming of black people? And I said, this is pointing to Virginia's going to win the championship. If you recall, the season before, Virginia became the first 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed University of Maryland, Baltimore County. That was the 136th meeting of a 16 and a 1. 136, the 16th triangular number. Means if you had 1 through 16, it equals 136, and that game was on the 16th of March. But yeah, look at this. He is dead on the 59th day of his age, you guys. The 59th day. Didn't we just talk about this social media influencer whose name equals 59, who was supposedly killed by her white fiance in Africa on 59 date numerology on the same day Africa Bambaataa died, another black entertainer. Again, 59. Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. Motown came out in 59. Just like 106, and probably even more prominent than 106. It is, because I caught on to this before I caught on the 106 thing. Just another number used in black shaming and black killing over and over. And again, here they align. On the 106th day of the year, Justin Fairfax is dead on the 59th day of his age. The exact number we spoke about 7 years ago when we called Virginia to win the championship, the day he was accused of RAPE. And you might recall Virginia was playing Duke when that news story broke. And we're like, oh, look at this. Well, I mean, he's the lieutenant governor in Virginia, and his old school just happens to be playing Virginia. And look how it's synced with the championship. And sure enough. But yeah, just same stuff over and over. And then just the fact that he's 47. I mean, come on, man. Embattled former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax killed his wife and then shot himself inside their home early Thursday in the throes of a messy divorce, cops said. Remember, the song Murder by Numbers by the Police, where killing is as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. The 47-year-old Democrat repeatedly shot his dentist wife, Serena Fairfax, I didn't even run the numbers on that, in the basement of their Annandale home just after midnight before turning the gun on himself, according to police. And again, I would say that the police are probably who did the killing. I really do think that a lot of these police departments probably have some murder clique within it that's probably really the intelligence agencies, just like how, Stuart Copeland in the police that did Murder by Numbers, his daddy was in the CIA. The CIA has the crypto statue that pays tribute to this code of letters and numbers. Show people all this stuff, and they still can't get it through their puny little brains. But yeah, if you actually write out Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, it's 444. Remember, that number is connected to killing as well. And Trump waited to give his State of the Union, the latest in history, on the 444th birthday of the Gregorian calendar. And then, yeah, also his full name is 87. And the first thing I thought when he's dead, I was like, I bet anything this is synced with Duke's collapse. Because, again, we used him to call March Madness 7 years ago. Always news and sports. Just like how this year, Michigan, they have the Temple Israel shooting on the 71st day of the year. March Madness equals 71. They win the championship on the 71st day of Michigan's age, defeating UConn, who loses in the 87th tournament 87 days after the state of UConn's Connecticut's birthday. But yeah, I mean, the first thing I looked at was, I wonder if there's a connection to the 87th tournament. And I said, bam, look at that. His full name's 87. And look at that, 19 days from the 19-point collapse. I mean, you just can't make it up. You just can't make it up. This is what they do day in and day out. And you show this stuff to these little pea brains, and they just, they get that can't be. Why would they do that? And you already explained why they would do it. Kabbalah, the dark side, evil, sorcery, magic, ritual, blood magic. Again, we aren't in these psychopath cliques, but it's obvious what they're doing. And when you can go back and look that I've been doing this for years and calling this shit out before it happens, it should really start to click. Okay, 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Here, I haven't watched this since the day I recorded it. Let's just go back and watch, because the video's titled Justin Fairfax accused of rape while at Duke plus March Madness college basketball riddle. And then rigged, Virginia in 2019 NCAA basketball championship as predicted February 8th. Plus Justin Fairfax. All right, here, let's check it out.
Welcome back, Truth Seeker. February 8th, 2019. One of the top news stories is the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia is being accused of a second sexual assault. This time they're saying a rape. They're saying it happened in 2000,
I'm going to speed it up.
19 years ago, when he was attending Duke University. Again, this year, August 2019, will be the 400-year anniversary of slaves arriving in America, where they arrived in Virginia. And here we are in Black History Month. We've seen the governor, a story come out about him being in blackface, posed next to a man in a KKK costume. We've seen the attorney general come out and say that he dressed in blackface, playing the part of the rapper Curtis Blow while he was in college. And we've seen the lieutenant governor now accused of 2 sexual assaults, all in Virginia, all in what will be the 400-year anniversary of slaves arriving in America, in Virginia, at Point Comfort. All of these news stories have been manufactured by a code, as I've covered in past days. What I want to show you in this story is how this is a riddle that's clearly pointing to the men's college basketball tournament. And if that sounds stupid to you, you're probably new here. I've called a lot of championships, college and pro, by using news stories and showing how they're actual riddles with the world of sports. March Madness is only...
Keep in mind that was 7 years ago. We've done it a million more times since, for the record.
39 days away, and here we are on the 39th day of the year. And Duke, the basketball dynasty, is the school that's at the center of this latest news story. So let me show you how this is a riddle with the college basketball tournament. There can be no mistake about it. Been doing this for years. So here it is. Duke University, 2000, 19 years ago. Today is February 8th, the 39th day of the year, a very specific number to the Duke Blue Devils. In fact, I called Zion Williamson going to Duke when he was still in high school because his announcement date was set for a date with 39 numerology. Blue Devils in Gematria equals 39. Justin Fairfax, the man accused of rape while at Duke, is 39 years old. Again, it's the 39th day of the year, and the college basketball tournament starts in exactly 39 days. Notice Duke Blue Devils also has Gematria of 82. Today's February 8th, 8/2, like 82.
I remember how this past year the Super Bowl is on that day, and New England Patriots equals 82, and Seattle's 82. Again, learn your numbers, learn your dates, see through the script.
This man's accused of rape while at Duke. I made a mistake here. Duke equals 22, so does rape, and so does basketball. I copied the wrong slide. Let me pull up the Gematria calculator. Basketball with the alphabetic order and rules of numerology, 22. So Duke, rape, basketball, they're all...
I should have made the point, too. Did you see how basketball is also 68 and 85? Because Duke's one of those schools. It's the all-time blue blood white boy school. I wrote basketball university. Duke University, 68-85. Basketball, 68-85. Who's the winningest basketball city in the pros? Boston, 85. This stuff's not an accident.
22. Today, February 8th, 2019. A date with 22 numerology. Justin Fairfax, the man accused, has Gematria of 85. Also like basketball. Again, if you're new here, there's 4 base ciphers. The alphabetic order, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. The alphabetic order with the rules of numerology just means you make each letter a single-digit number. So in the case of Z, the 26th letter, 2 plus 6 becomes 8. The next cipher is the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26. And the last cipher is the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. But Justin Fairfax, the man accused, 85. Basketball, 85. The first March Madness tournament was in the year 1985, not by accident. Again, news, sports, they've always been scripted together, and they've always been scripted by this code.
And to add on to that, the first men's tournament was in 1939. They changed it to March Madness in 85. Remember, we're talking about 39 and 85 here. And they turned it again to March Madness in 85, which was the 47th edition of the tournament. Just like how the first Super Bowl season was the 47th season. We know that 47, very special number. Like now Justin Fairfax is dead at 47.
So, from today, the day of the story, to the day the tournament begins, March 19th, 39 days. And here we are on the 39th day of the year. Notice it's also 1 month and 11 days. Blue Devils has that gematria of 111. For those of you who are college basketball fans, you probably saw Duke become 11-1 in New York earlier this year. They played in Madison Square Garden, New York. 111, also 39. Could be another clue for.
And if you recall, this past season they were also 11-1. They got upset on Saturnalia by Texas Tech, who became 9-3, and we cashed big time. Texas Tech was a big dog. Always the 93 during Saturnalia, and just the same recurring patterns. Blue Devils, 9.5-point favorite, got upset by Texas Tech and fell to 11-1 year after year. Same stuff.
For Zion's destiny, huh? Why don't you look up Zion Williams' full name, including his middle name, and put that in gematria? You might find another 111. You will. And for the ultimate kicker, the tournament ends April 8th, 2019. That's 59 days from today. 59 days from today, Justin Fairfax also has that gematria of 59, the man accused, who went to Duke. So I'm going to leave it there. You know, been showing this stuff for years. Fake news, long before.
I see. On Patreon, we were all over Virginia that year. I probably left the what I really thought for the Patreon supporters. But yeah, again, just showing how the Virginia lieutenant governors perfectly synced with the championship date. Virginia was our team to win it all the way, and like we said, you know, after they did the ritual the year prior, going out as the 1 seed versus 16, we said this is how they're going to pay him back. And it was quite a magical championship because there were some amazing things that, like I said, this blood magic stuff. Is this how they? If you don't remember Virginia's championship that year, that there was a game where they should have been eliminated. The ball got punched into the backcourt with no time, and a player ran and chased down the ball and heaved it down the court like a football pass. And their big tall center with the bleached white hair grabbed it and threw it in the air into the hoop to win. I was just like, what? I was so annoyed in that moment. I was like, what? How? I thought Virginia was about to get eliminated. I don't know how you script a play like that, to be perfectly honest. And, you know, if that Frank guy wasn't such a, you know, just, dude, you're the host. Just shut up. Again, just like, what? Just let me explain it, because I probably would have told him about how it looks like there's some juju magic on all this stuff, too, with their rigging. And you go back to the way Virginia won it that year, it definitely looked to be the case. But, yeah. Again, explaining how he was synced with March Madness back then. Now here we are after the 87th tournament. And what do you know? Another 47. His full name, 87. He went to Duke. He's dead 19 days from the 19-point collapse. I mean, God, I can't. You know, I see the top scores in both halves were 44, too. Another number connected to killing and also in Septenary and Chaldean gematria. If you guys didn't know this, because I usually just talk about the base ciphers. Again, the stuff's in my first book that's 10 years old. These numbers are connected to this as well. You think about a guy like Obama. He was the 43rd person to be president, but number 44. And, you know, you look at those numbers in that score that his death is now synced with 44 points as the top score in both halves. And then, of course, the 73 as well, right? I mean, I think everybody knows what 73 means. Sacrifice in the most simple cipher. Ritual sacrifice with numerology applied. So, yeah. First thing on the slate today, another obvious racist murder ritual. And again, if it wasn't a nation of room temperature IQs, I think everybody would get it. Also, on the 106th day of the year, you can see they got Clarence Thomas up on the chopping block along with Samuel Alito. 2 judges. Is there a Pelican Brief joke here? If you haven't seen the movie made off the John Grisham book, The Pelican Brief, it's about 2 justices ending up dead. So, see about that. Don't forget the last. Well, I guess Ruth Bader Ginsburg died on Rosh Hashanah in a 187 ritual on the CIA's birthday anniversary, nonetheless. And then the last time we really had a suspicious death of a judge, it was on the 44th day of the year and the time of number 44, and that was the right-wing conspiracy. Did Obama kill Scalia? Just to take you back to, hold on, just since that's up there, let me see. Pillow 87, Justice 87, Antonin 87, right? And then Dick Cheney's also 87. And if you're saying, well, why is Dick Cheney up there? Let me pull up this old thing here. Dick Cheney, Antonin Scalia, Family Guy. Family Guy predicted that news story through a cartoon called Meet the Quagmires, where Dick Cheney shoots Antonin Scalia. And remember, Dick Cheney accidentally shot his hunting pal on a ranch, which was right where in the same place where Scalia died while hunting with his secret society pals from the Catholic Church. Let me see here. Family Guy, by the way, equals 47. Go figure. This episode also came out on Cannonball Day, the day in history to remember the Jesuit founder Ignatius of Loyola getting shot. Hold on. There's a lot that's interesting about this, but let me get the main one. Oh, yeah, here we go. So, Sumerian gematria. I was just showing you all these 87 things, right? Dick Cheney, Antonin. They said a pillow was found over his head. So all these words equal 87. Sumerian gematria is just multiplying the alphabetic order times 6. And then it becomes 522. So not by chance from Dick Cheney shooting the guy, which was on the Vatican's birthday, from Dick Cheney shooting his hunting pal to Scalia dying on the 44th day of the year, exactly 522 weeks. 522. And if I remember right, there's something about that number in the Pelican Brief, the movie. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a million examples. And again, you follow these dates and it all trade. Oh, yeah, May 20th leaves 220. That's what it is. 225's all over the Pelican Brief, the movie, if you watch it. But it's the reflection of 522. But the day that the cartoon came out was the day leaving 225 days left in the year. Again, just predictive programming, entertainment, what becomes the news, ritualistic death, and then a society of dummies who just can't grasp it. So, yeah, it's again, you guys, I'm not wrong about what I'm saying about why this work doesn't resonate with the masses. It's just because they're dumb. That's the only reason. They're dumb. They're dumb. So. All right, another undeniable broadcast, another point well proven that will go over the masses' heads, and I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a damn shame, I guess. Hold on, DK Stonewood wants to get in here real quick, and then I got to get back to family life. Well, what's up, DK?
Hey, Zach, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up, man?
I would say the masses are dumb, but all those people that you're mentioning, those are all paid for agents, so they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah, the guy last night who I called into, Ann set that up, but I wasn't real excited about going on there because I already knew what he was. I mean, I called into his show and gave him the great thing. He got all butthurt on the air and like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I was like, what the hell kind of reaction is this? I mean, and then he sent me an email there. He's like, oh, I just realized I've been subscribed to your channel for years, but I don't even watch you. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Fuck you. So anyway.
I think you responded appropriately. It wasn't that rude or anything. You were just kind of like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and again, if you're talking about the interview, how I said, oh, yeah, the only people who would question are like little tiny brains. He's like, whoa, 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 yeah, I am talking about you, dumbass.
I just want to mention a couple things before it becomes totally irrelevant. The Artemis thing. So NASA did a launch on April Fool's 1960. So that's exactly 66 years before, and they passed over, April Fool's is right after the Ishtar Passover, right? So they did the same thing and took some pictures. I forgot what stuff, like they were.
So 66 years to the day.
Exactly.
Which is the 11th triangular number, and they're paying tribute to obviously Apollo 11. You saying that because they're supposed to launch in mid 2027 supposedly for Artemis 3, and the full moon in June is on King James's birthday, who was born in 1566, and obviously has the 66 book Bible in his name. I wonder if that's going to be the launch date, another full moon launch, and then they're walking around on the moon supposedly on June 25th, Orwell's birthday, which is Michael Jackson, the Moonwalker's death anniversary. I'll laugh if that's how they do it.
You know what else is funny? How, okay, so Apollo and Artemis are brother and sister, but they're the only twins out of the Greek pantheon, and then twins is like, when you think of twins, you think of Gemini, and then that's the name of another, you know what I mean? That's
the next launch will probably be in Gemini in the time of June, yeah.
So, and then also that was, I don't know what years for the Gemini missions. That was that like in the 90s or 2000s.
I'd have to go back. I don't remember.
Yeah. I heard you briefly talking about with that guy and that girl, Abraham Lincoln, something. I forgot what it was, but I don't know if I mentioned this before on your show. It was about the tax day. Yeah. The reason why tax day is on the fake assassination day of Lincoln is because he's the one that actually
implemented the income tax.
Well, he made us.
Think about it. And the Titanic's connected to the Federal Reserve, and that both of these things are now tax day. I mean, but go ahead with your thought.
I was saying this specifically April 15th tax day because with the act of 1871. He actually turned us, which is what Lincoln's known for, is freeing the slaves, which is that act of 1871, which actually turned us all into slaves. But what we all have now, our citizenship is a Negro citizenship. That a Negro citizenship before you were owned by whoever it was. That's how you were allowed to come in, and then you're subject to whatever the corporate rules are. That would be like your master. So that's why we're subject to the taxes, because that's one of the corporate I guess it's not even a law, it's some kind of nonsense that they conjure up anyway. But so that's why it's always been on that day, April 15th. Also, the whole famous saying of break a leg from what's his name, Booth.
I don't know who invented the phrase "break a leg."
Who's the most famous actor of all time?
I don't know. Charlie Chaplin?
No, I'm saying the guy who let me rephrase that. Who performed the best act that fooled the most people? That's what the word act, which actor is like the enactment word of that, but it was Booth who faked that assassination. Then when he jumped off that balcony, he broke his leg. So that's why actors tell imagine telling another athlete or someone on your team, go out there and break a leg or something. They would probably slap you, but actors do that all the time because that's what it's originally from.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay.
And then another thing that before this gets completely irrelevant, and probably already is, everybody's memory is so short. The six-finger joke. The six-finger joke is that these descendants of the Khazars, back, they used to have six fingers, literally. And the reason the handshake comes from Europe is because when they were doing business with people, they wanted to see how many fingers they had. If they had six fingers, they'd be like, no way. We're staying away from you. We already know who you are. And then over here in the Americas, the natives, what their greeting is? They put their hand up like when you go to court and you do you swear to tell the truth? They put their hand up and they go, how? That means show me your hands. How many fingers you got? If you got six fingers, we're going the other way, or we're going to war right now, because they already knew who the six-finger tribe was. So that's the real six-finger joke from, probably, I mean, I don't know what percent, but you can look that one up too. That they bred that out. They were breeding with Europeans a lot to breed that out. And Paul McCartney, or this dude who's playing Paul McCartney or whatever it is going on, has been said that he has six toes. And in some of the old Beatles pictures, or they're going back when they were on the beach and stuff, there's a couple pictures where it looks like he has six toes. So
interesting.
That's a thing.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, DK.
All right, Zach.
All right, take care.
Soon.
See you, man.
Bye.
Okay, quick recap if you got here late. Again, another black death ritual of someone we've been talking about for years. Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax supposedly kills himself and his wife on the 106th day of the year, like we're on 106 in Park. Again, Black Lives Matter, and I Can't Breathe, all 106. Just like we talked about him when he was in the news in 2019, it was a 59 ritual then. It's a 59 ritual now. He's dead on the 59th day of his age. Justin Fairfax equals 59, like slave, Negro, Rasta, and blues. It's another government 47 special. We know the long list of words connected to 47 in government. It's a long list. It's a long history. We just talked about yesterday with the guy that's quite slow. And, oh, sweet girl, I'm almost done. I'm coming. Where did Miss Cuddles go? Miss Cuddles. All right, quick recap. We're almost done. See this, Ruby? 40, government equals 47, like this not so nice word here, which they're saying he did to himself. And then again, he's a Duke alumni. We used him to call the 2019 March Championship right on the nose. And now he's dead after the 87th tournament. 19 days from his team, Duke claps him with 19-point lead. All right, True Seeker, I'm out of here. Thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share. And notice, you guys, the views are worse by the day. Every single day, we're just going downhill. I know it's not because the work's bad. It's because the suppression's getting worse. So thank you to everyone who helps get the word out there, because YouTube has destroyed us, destroyed is in all caps. All right, True Seeker. Until next time.